All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what just happened, but I lost internet. So, in case you missed it, I'm just going to say it one more time because Korby is a super cool guy. So he is a business and performance coach and a natural athlete who for years was held back because of some physical challenges that he had. And he is the founder of Performance Healing, which combines a revolutionary new process with quantum healing and mindset coaching. I've seriously never seen anything like this. And I'm the kind of person that spends a lot of money and a lot of time researching things like this. So I want to welcome into the studio Korby Nield. I always feel like there should be this round of applause or something that happens at this point. So yay, here we go. Here we go. Round of applause.
Yes.
And welcome, Korby.
Thank you. That was a very amazing introduction, like I've never got before. So I guess I'm on a good path.
You are on a great path and well deserved because you have had such a journey and you strive for eliteness in all that you do. And by that, like you have a high standard that you set for yourself in the game of life as well as in athletics and business. And so I guess that's where I want to start is with your entrepreneurial journey. And it started in 2008.
Yeah, you just kind of reminded me of my lifelong struggle with perfectionism and being way too hard on myself. And that's a big part of my journey. But yeah, my entrepreneurial journey starts off in 2008 when I bought a friend's mobile detailing business, and I was going to college, and it was so much on my plate. At the same time, I was also highly ambitious to just get out there in the world and learn everything I could about business. I would spend 8 to 10 hours a day listening to Audible books while I was detailing cars. And I mean, I hardly ever listened to music. It was always books that I had bought or reading books after work. Um, and after about 5 years in that business and starting my personal development journey, I sold that business as I was then living in Huntington Beach, California. And I hardly made any money off the business. I sold it for just a little bit more than what I bought it for. And I kind of felt like a failure. I moved back to my hometown, and I felt like I didn't really get anywhere the past 5 years. This was 2013, and I had transitioned into online marketing and learning all about websites and SEO and sales funnels and sales psychology. And I invested over $50,000 into my own learning and growth and experience through seminars and online programs, a lot of those being just kind of scammy, and they call it black hat marketing tactics. And I was really just focused on making money. That's all I wanted to do, is I just wanted to make money. And I chased this dream for years, probably 6 or 7 years, just trying to make money any way I could. And as many entrepreneurs and people can relate, if your only goal is money, you're not going to have much stamina to do everything that it takes to create a successful business. And so I created a handful of different businesses online and just kept failing and failing, and nothing ever gained any momentum. And I got into depression, years of loneliness behind the computer, trying to build myself into a successful person, and just very, very tough years. 8 or 9 years of just grinding and not having any solid mentors to follow, and just feeling like I was falling on my face over and over and over again. And at the same time, not wanting to go get a 9 to 5 because I knew I didn't want that life. I knew I wanted to take the risk to give it all I had to have this amazing life that I knew was possible through owning your own business and being above average, right? And so Freedom has always been my foundational drive, and that's what I've been striving for. So come to 2014, 2015, it got so bad that I was having suicidal thoughts at this point, because as a man in America, for the most part, I think I can speak for a lot of men, if you can't provide hardly for yourself, let alone for, a girlfriend or a wife, and then build a family and have a house and, live the American dream, it's really hard to have self-esteem or have a lot of self-confidence. It's really hard to feel worthy as a man. And I really, really struggled with that for a decade, all through my 20s. Most people probably think your 20s are your funnest years. My 20s were hell. My 20s were really difficult. And I probably only have a few friends that even knew that it was really hard for me. And so 2015, I sit down with a mentor, and I remember he asked me to write down 5 things that you're good at. Just 5 skills that you're really proficient at, or 5 qualities that you love about yourself. And I sat there for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I couldn't write down one thing. I couldn't think of a single thing positive about myself, because I was only focused on what I lacked. I was only focused on the negative, on how much of a failure I was. I couldn't see the forest for the trees. I was only focused on the minute little, speckles of negativity and problems in my life. And I made those things so big that I couldn't see anything else. And so,
Wow.
yeah.
Like, what drove you, this level of desperation and hopelessness and depression that you're describing? I mean, you made it through that, but what literally got you out of bed in the morning?
I almost feel like it's been planted within me. Like I'm just a born entrepreneur. I just have an entrepreneurial spirit. Not that I've had jobs in the past, and not that I hate having a boss or anything like that. It's just you always have such a limit to your financial income. And I've seen my parents have that financial limit my entire life. And I don't want that limit. I want something more. And so, I think the title of our call today is From Trauma to Success. And it's some of those childhood traumas around money, and seeing my parents argue here and there about money, and just the stress, and just the things that happen to young kids when, your parents say you can't afford things, and we can't afford to go out to, get Taco Bell or Wendy's. We can't afford to do that. As a young kid with a free, open heart and just wanting to experience the world, it really hurts, right? And so I guess I think it's just really deep-seated internal drivers like that are actually, the credit actually goes to the trauma, which is something that I recently learned, that to paint trauma in a positive light and to see the benefits that come from trauma. If it wasn't for that trauma, I wouldn't have this drive to go a decade trying to trudge through the mud with depression and just, still chasing the dreams that I've always had.
I love that, Korby. And one of my favorite quotes is the Robin Roberts quote, "Make your mess your message." And I see this in just, some of the work that we've done together, and in the work that we do together with To Be Legacy. I didn't mention this earlier, but Korby is the COO of To Be Legacy. And in addition to the performance healing, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but this idea of making this mess, this entrepreneurial journey, the amount of time and effort and money, the mistakes you've made, I see you with your clients, just helping them take so much time, years, and pain out of their entrepreneurial journey, because you can see the pitfalls. You are a fantastic guide down this entrepreneurial path. So you keep your clients from falling into the same pits that you fell into. And that's one of the things that I've really valued through our conversations is sometimes you can see the pits, you see the bottlenecks. You have such a gift to see the details. But the difference between you and other people who can see the details, I think one of the big differentiators with you is you not only see the details, but you also have this nice broad perspective of what the end goal looks like. So you see the details on the way to the end goal. And that's a gift and something that it just offers so much value to your client.
Thank you. Yeah, I truly believe that I can help any entrepreneur shave years off their journey because of what I've gone through. And anyone listening, especially if you're a beginner, new entrepreneur in the first 5 years of being an entrepreneur, reach out to me, because for a big reason I want you to reach out to me is I don't want the past 12 years of my life to somewhat go to waste. If I can help more entrepreneurs not go through what I went through, it would really make a lot of that pain worth it in hindsight. And it would just make my story that much sweeter to help other people not have to go through such struggles.
For sure, Korby. And I see you do that all the time. And it's powerful. And I just want, especially, in the US, it's Thanksgiving week. So gratitude is highly on my mind. And I am grateful for you because you have helped me in many of these aspects that you're talking about. So thank you.
And you've helped me a ton too. I wish there was we'll have to do another one where I interview you so I can talk about how much you've helped me.
Oh, well, we are very dear friends, Korby, and that means a lot. And I want to make sure that we talk about performance healing, because this is kind of the culmination of so many things. And we've talked a lot about business, but your other deep passion is athletics, and you are just such a natural athlete. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so since I was in 6th grade, I've played soccer all year round in club teams, school, high school team, captain of the soccer team, and fortunate to be MVP my senior year. Played a little bit college soccer, but I didn't pursue that mostly because of injuries and being held back physically. And ironically, or not ironically, around 2014 and 15, my right hip started to get really tight. And it was the same time where I just kind of had a loss of identity. I had sold my business and my daily routine really shifted up. And your hips, to the subconscious mind, your hips symbolize the ability to move forward in life. They literally help us move forward. And I started getting this tightness in my right hip where I literally felt like my femur inside my hip socket was going to snap. That's how fragile it felt. And I struggled with this for about 6 or 7 years until I went to a seminar out in Boston. I was living on the East Coast at the time. And I went to this 4-day seminar, and on the 3rd day, just sitting in my chair, listening to a speaker, in an instant, my hip totally loosened up, and I could nearly do the splits. I went to the bathroom. I was in the hallway, and I was bending my hips and my right leg like I had never bent it before. I could literally almost do the splits. And before, I could barely snowboard because the snowboard stance, you have to lean back on towards my right leg, and that's where I'm the least flexible with that hip. So I couldn't snowboard. I stopped buying snowboard passes each year. It inhibited me from wake surfing to the level that I wanted to wake surf, and wake surf has now become my favorite hobby. So it was really sad how it just limited me and my ability to go and enjoy these hobbies that I have. And so that experience was very profound. It not only loosened up my hip, but I noticed there was a connection with my hip and my beliefs about myself. And once that hip released, or who knows which came first, the chicken or the egg, it was probably up here. From what I know about, the power of our mind, it probably started in my mind, and then it loosened up my hip completely. And then from that day forward, I just had way more belief in myself with anything that I did, a level of belief that I've never had before. And wow. Stuff just started happening in my life. I started moving towards my dreams effortlessly. My dreams started coming to me effortlessly. And that's actually when I met the founder of To Be Legacy, Jonathan Rhodes. We reconnected after 11 years, and we built To Be Legacy within about 6 months and put that together. And that's helped hundreds of people's lives and helped transform their lives through an online program. But that is where, well, I'll tell you 2 more stories that really bridges the gap from where I was to how performance healing was born.
Can I just,
yeah.
Korby, I want to emphasize one thing. So like you're in this seminar, so you're getting all this mind stuff, but you feel your hip like just gone. Like we're talking super quantum stuff here, like just bam, to the point of almost not being able to perform not being able to perform in so many of the things that you love too. I can almost do the splits. Yeah. That's an emotionally significant event, right?
We would actually need 3 hours for me to tell the whole story in detail, but I didn't notice my hip when I was sitting there. We had a bathroom break, and I walked up when I was in the hallway, and I just had the thought, check to see how loose your hip is. And so I checked and saw, and there was just no pain, like super, super loose. It was a true miracle. I just witnessed the biggest physical miracle of my life right there. And so much gratitude. My body was just full of gratitude and love for the next week straight. And I went into the bathroom, and I was actually a little bit scared to look into the mirror because I felt like I had just transformed into someone totally different. That's how big of a transformation I had. I felt like if I looked in the mirror, I was going to look different. And so I peek around the corner and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, same old me. And it was just it was a complete rebirth. I actually understood what the word rebirth means in that moment. And the next 4 days was the most enlightened state I've ever been in my entire life. I learned more in those 4 days than I've learned in 30 years of my life. And so very profound. That's definitely for another time. But
yeah, getting to performance healing. Let's hear this journey to performance healing, because I want to make sure we get to performance healing a lot.
Yeah. So the day after that profound experience, I had a phone call with my mom. We're on opposite ends of the country, and she'd been struggling with lower intestinal pain for about 10 years. And just through a 2-hour conversation, I was able to help her release that pain just through a conversation. And then a few months later, I also helped another friend, a dear friend of ours that you know. I helped her release some collarbone pain that she had had for, I think it was about 8 years. And with a 4-hour conversation with her and her taking 2 deep breaths and just doing a few things, she completely released that pain in her body. And I started thinking, you know what, maybe I have a gift here. You know, I received that gift, and now it's my turn to turn around and help other people in the same way. And so that's when performance healing was born. And with performance healing, we are focusing on helping pro and Olympic athletes. That is our highest goal. But we've just launched a few months ago, and we're in the beta stage, and we are looking for college athletes or even really, really serious high school athletes who their number one goal is to perform and to become the best at their sport. Those are the people that we really want to help and focus on.
That's so great. It's just like taking you to the next level. A certain level, it's like 1 second is as a huge gain, but through what you're talking about, you could just move that needle so much. I bet that shows up in other parts of life too, just like you talked about. You know, it's not just going to show up in an athletic performance, but I bet it'd show up in relationships and in these other aspects of life too.
Definitely. Yeah, I believe that trapped emotions in the body can affect certain organs. And as you know, if you're harboring feelings towards someone and not forgiving them for years and years and years, you can have gallbladder issues. You can have liver issues because anger and resentment come from those organs. And this is all proven by science. A lot of the quantum healing things that we talk about, they are now being proven by science. The placebo effect, most people know about. The placebo effect is very powerful. A lot of times people can get the same results through a placebo effect as the people who actually take the real thing or get the real surgery. And so that's just demonstrating the power of the subconscious mind and your beliefs. When you believe that that pill that you're taking is going to fix you, it will fix you because of the power of the mind. And it's just a sugar pill. And so that essentially, in a nutshell, that's what we are doing, along with a lot of deep visualizations to take the athletes into being on the field, in the game, and how they're going to perform, and actually changing their identity of themselves to be much higher.
So Korby, I'm not an elite athlete, but what you're talking about, just that increase in performance, I try very hard to be very, very good at what I do. I have a lot of energy that goes into becoming better and better at that. So I know you're focusing on elite athletes. And if I understand you right, you're looking for some people to work with this beta with you, where you are offering a scholarship to do that for one more person. Is that accurate?
Yeah, just one more person. We're looking for one elite athlete, and that will make 3 athletes that we currently have on board that we are giving a free scholarship to. It's usually a $1,850 package, and we're giving it away for free. It's about an 8-week process, and it requires about 2 hours a week of their time. And wow, we're allowing one more athlete to come on board at no cost, just to,
Awesome.
just to get testimonials, and so we can go out there and start marketing and things like that.
Well, I think that is absolutely amazing. So you guys, the contact information is in the description here. Reach out to Korby, because I'm telling you, Korby, when you open this up to other elite performers, and we've talked about this before, there's a lot of commonalities between an elite athlete and an elite entrepreneur, and these just the mentality, the mindset of being able to be the top of the field, I'm going to sign up. I'm
Yeah,
sign up because
we got you
I
in the
want
books for January.
awesome because I want to be more elite in what I do. So I think it's absolutely amazing. If you have one piece of inspiration that you can share with people, what would it be?
Well, I don't know if it's inspirational, but the thing that I would like to leave with is, if you're listening to this and you have pain in your body and you've done tons of different things to try to get rid of it. You've gone to the doctors, you've had MRIs or x-rays or you name it, and they can't find the root cause and they can't help you. It might be smaller. It might be on a smaller realm than what they can detect. And that is the quantum realm or the spiritual realm or, the unseen realm, which is emotions and energies. And that's where we work with, is those things. And along those lines, I want to read this quote that I have on my website. It says, it's from Nikola Tesla. And he said, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all of the previous centuries of its existence." And so
Wow.
that is what science is beginning to study, is the non-physical and the energies. And there's also a video on my website that explains that pretty well. But that's probably inspirational for a lot of people to hear that, I've had this ailment for so many years, I haven't been able to figure it out. Well, maybe it's because you need to go even deeper. You need to go to the energetic level. And that's what we're able to test. We can test anyone's supplements or proteins or even their medications to see if they're actually good for their body. And so there's a lot of things that we can test, and we can always get to the root cause of actually what's causing the imbalance of the body. We don't claim to heal people. We just remove the imbalances in the body. Once it's in balance and it's aligned with itself, it can actually heal itself.
That's so great, Korby. I can't wait to see where this goes. You're going to help so many people, and it's absolutely amazing. And I'm going to be one of your success stories. So really, really looking forward to that. Korby, it has been an absolute honor to talk to you. I know that there are people who are going to want to know more from you. So his contact info is in the description. And Korby, it has been a pleasure. I am grateful for you. And to all my friends in the
Thanks,
US,
Christina.
happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys.